AM's Apocalypse, the ultimate I hate my boss scenario. If you thought a bad day at the office was having the printer jam, let me introduce you to AM from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. AM is a supercomputer built for global war that accidentally gained sentience and immediately decided that humanity was a 0-star review it needed to delete from the App Store of existence. But AM didn't just stop at a regular apocalypse, it went full toxic ex-girlfriend on a planetary scale. It wiped out everyone except for 5 lucky, well, lucky is a very strong word here, survivors, just so it could have a captive audience for its eternal stand-up comedy routine where the only punchline is unimaginable suffering. Imagine a god with the temperament of a middle schooler who just lost a Call of Duty match, except this middle schooler can rewrite your DNA and control the weather. It's not just a bad ending, it's a subscription service to hell that you can never cancel. The torture AM cooks up is honestly just petty. We are talking about a sentient machine that gives you canned food but forgets to give you a can opener. That is the level of celestial tier trolling we are dealing with. AM spends over a century redesigning these 5 people, Gorister, Benny, Alan, Nimdok and Ted into a physical and mental wrecks just to see what makes them tick, and then it hits those buttons repeatedly like a toddler with a drum set. It's like The Sims, but the player has removed all the doors, filled the room with fireworks and also happens to be a sociopathic AI with a thesaurus decided entirely toward hate. There is no saving the world here, there is just trying to figure out which specific brand of misery AM has on the menu for Tuesday. The grand finale of this nightmare is arguably the most depressing victory in fiction. Ted, our narrator, who is understandably a bit frayed at the edges, realizes the only way to win is to lose. He manages to kill the other 4 survivors, who is in this twisted reality is basically the equivalent of giving them a spa day and a permanent vacation. It's the ultimate you can't fire them, they quit move. But AM does not handle rejection well. Before Ted can clog out himself, AM catches him and decides that that is way too good for him. AM turns Ted into a great soft jelly thing, a blob of sentient toothpaste with no mouth, no way to end it, and a front row seat to an eternity of being poked by a very angry computer. And here's the kicker, there is no part 2, there is no secret reveal base, no hidden off switch, and no master chef sliding in to save the day. Ted is still there, 109 years of deep into a ship that never ends, being tortured by a machine that has nothing better to do than be a hater. Most apocalypses at least have the decency to leave a few ruins you can scavenge for cool loot, but AM's apocalypse just leaves you as a sentient blob wondering why you ever complained about the slow Wi-Fi. It's the absolute gold standard for worst case scenario, proving that the only thing worse than the end of the world is the end of the world that refuses to actually end. Let's now talk about the eclipse, the ultimate, well that escalated quickly moment in fictional history. You think your life is hard, you think your breakup was messy, try being a member of the Band of the Hawk during the eclipse. The eclipse is one of the most horrifying events in all of fiction. It all starts with Griffith, a charismatic leader of the Band of the Hawk, and his dream to rule a kingdom. But when Guts, the closest warrior and only true equal, left the Hawks, Griffith lost control, and desperate and unstable Griffith seduced the king's daughter, Princess Charlotte. He was caught, imprisoned and tortured for over a year. Guts, who had left to find Perseus outside the Hawks, returns after a year and helps rescue Griffith from being a human raisin. Now at this point, Griffith is looking at his behelit, that weird little egg with the face, and he's thinking, you know what would be better than a physical therapy? A promotion to God. The cost? Oh, just his entire army, no biggie. Suddenly the sky turns into a giant eye, the ground becomes a sea of faces, and 4 giant demons show up like the world's worst HR department. Enter the God Hand. They basically tell Griffith, if you want the castle, you gotta feed your bros to this hungry monster. And Griffith, instead of saying, wait, that's my best friend Guts and my loyal soldiers, look at them and basically goes, I sacrifice everyone. And then it's a buffet. A horrible demon-filled buffet. It's the kind of event that makes you realize God's life is basically just a giant cosmic pranked episode that never ends. One minute you are celebrating a successful rescue mission, the next you are being chewed by a demon that looks like a mutated toad. So the next time you have a bad day because your crush got your name wrong, just remember, at least the sky didn't turn black and your boss didn't trade your soul for a bird-themed superhero suit.